Well, she's a little dirty, but she's still beautiful. Of course, gotta love the folding mirrors. So I'm not in Hollywood today. I'm not in a cemetery. I'm not out on some adventure or visiting some cool place to show you. Instead, I'm here at home in my driveway in my garage, and I wanted to talk about a little problem with my car. Just wondering if others have had this and how they dealt with it, and what your opinions and your expert advice might be. So here's the situation. This is a 2021 Mazda CX-9 Carbon Edition. I got it used just a few months ago, 3 months ago about. Got it at about 17,000 miles, certified, pre-owned, and this is a 4-cylinder turbo engine. And like I said, it was used. This is 2023, but it's a 2021 vehicle, so it's 2 years old. But a very low mileage, 17,000 miles. And about a week ago, my low oil level light came on. And I knew when I saw that light that this car may have an issue. So before I purchased this vehicle, I did my research, and I already knew there was a TSB, Technical Service Bulletin, I believe, from Mazda about these cars, some of these cars, burning oil, consuming oil, however you want to word it, due to a valve seal issue. So that seal issue is a defect in some of these 2021 models, and sure enough, my VIN falls within the range of the ones affected. So I bought the vehicle and took a chance, and about 4,800 miles in since purchasing it, I mean right at the edge of my 5,000 mile oil change that was coming up, my low oil level light comes on. I check the dipstick, and sure enough, the oil is just below the little dot at the bottom, the minimum mark on the dipstick. So luckily I was near a auto parts store, and I was able to add about half a quart, and it filled it right up. So it's really not that low, but it is below the minimum mark, and it does trigger the light, and that doesn't seem normal to me. So I put some oil in it and got it to where it needed to be, and I'm already due for an oil change, so I took it to the Mazda dealer and had them change the oil, and I had them check the TSB, and sure enough, there was an error code still present in the computer. Even though I had topped off the oil, there was still an error code present. So thankfully, the error code was there, which basically approved them to go ahead and fix the valve seals, which is no easy task. So they told me give them a week or two, a couple weeks, whatever, for them to get the parts and get me an appointment, and they will take care of this. So really pretty easy, but the question is, if you have a Mazda CX-9, if you fall in that range, have you had oil consumption? And have you also had the valve seal issue? And another thing, when I purchased this vehicle 3 months ago, as soon as I got it home, I checked the oil level, and it was way past the top fill mark on the dipstick. I took it right back to the dealer, and they agreed it was overfilled, and they drained it and refilled it correctly. Too much oil is a bad thing. They didn't argue with me. Well, when I just had the oil changed a few days ago, I got it home, and sure enough, it was overfilled once again. I emailed the service manager and called him on the phone. He was very, very nice, and he gave me his word, 100% guarantee. He said the way it's overfilled is normal, that they do that with all of them. That's the way their system works, and that there is absolutely no concern whatsoever. He said it's a half a quart overfilled. That's all. And when I was at the low end of the dipstick, when my light came on, a half a quart filled it up. So the dipstick seems to be very sensitive on that that range between the top dot or the bottom dot and the top dot, the minimum and the max. So even though it's way past the top dot, it's only a half a quart over. He assured me that is no big deal whatsoever. And maybe it's not. But I tell you what, 3 months ago when I purchased the vehicle, if they had not drained the oil to the normal level, well, my light would have never came on because it was overfilled and I was right at my time to get the oil change. So in my opinion, overfilling it might be causing people to not realize their car is burning oil unless they check it regularly, which I am doing. I got a little overconfident when I bought this car. I checked it a few times and then sort of just let it go. But from what I have spoken with other people on online groups, others are saying that their light comes on right before their 5,000 mile interval oil change comes due. And that's exactly where I was too. So if they're overfilling it when they change your oil, well, the light may never come on because it was overfilled. And if they're putting in the right amount of oil, well, then your light may come on. So I don't know, seems like a little bit of a deceptive practice. So maybe being overfilled by a little bit, half a quart, maybe that's no big deal. But then you also may not realize you have a valve seal issue and your car is using oil. So that's the part I don't like. So I just got home. My car's been sitting here about 10 minutes. I'm on level ground here in my garage, and I am going to check the oil. Now, the oil was changed a few days ago, and I'm going to check it again here. I'm going to show you the level on the dipstick. So let's take a look. Grab a rag. All right, I'm going to wipe it off. Try to keep it nice and level. Now I realize you can't maybe see this too well, but the oil level is right there. Top dot is right there. The oil level is right there. So it's quite full. But I realize the sensitivity of this dipstick. So he's telling me it's only half a quart over, which may be fine. I don't know. The bigger concern is if the car is using oil and they overfill it, most people won't realize that the car is using oil unless they are checking this regularly. Yeah, I just checked it again, and it's all the way up here. There's the max line. It's right there. So the danger of having too much oil is that the crankshaft will dip into the oil and froth it and get air bubbles in it, and then it won't lubricate as well, if I understand correctly. Let's try that again.